Hey guys, welcome to I Swear We're Straight, the podcast where we talk about things that happened in the last week, and I swear we're straight. We're going to be having some fun talking about different stories that happened over the last week. Yep. And if you like it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment down below.
We'd love to hear from you. Yep, we're just here to talk about things, have some fun, give you our thoughts, have a good time. You know, that's what life's all about. We're definitely straight.
I'm not here to have a good time, Dominic.
You're not?
That's why I took issue. You said we're here to have a good time. You don't know about me, Dominic. Don't fucking assume! So anyways, guys, so we're just going to have a lot of fun. So make sure you hit that subscribe.
It'll be like one of those technical difficulties.
That's fucking hilarious. So our first story of the day. One of the places in America that has been the least affected by the COVID pandemic is San Diego. They actually have like some of the lowest COVID numbers in the country.
A lot of people were really about the vaccine. Everybody was really about COVID protocols at the time, especially even like March of 2020. Like they were really on top of things.
Well, yeah, I guess like that paid off because they've got some of the lowest COVID numbers in the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And apparently, one of the reasons why they're in the news is because their mayor actually got caught violating her own mask mandate.
It is like the Halloween thing where your boss tells you, like, we're not allowed to dress up for Halloween, and then she dresses up.
Like Mario.
Yeah, like she wears, like, a bath sheet or something. A bed sheet, and is like, oh, I'm a ghost because it's Halloween. Ha ha ha. And you're like... Well, you specifically told me that I couldn't wear my Spider-Man suit because it's inappropriate for the workplace. And you're coming in with your stupid bedsheet. I'm not bitter. I'm not saying this is a true story, but I'm not denying it.
No. Dominic, do you put sheets in your bath?
Sheets are more absorbent than you think.
No, if I say Dom...
I'm actually ahead of the curve.
If I say Dom, if I need to take a shower, you're like, all right, do you want... 1,000 thread count, or do you want silk? Are you giving me sheets?
Well, first of all, I wasn't raised by wolves who clearly don't want silk. Silk doesn't absorb shit at all. Like, why? Of course, I'm going with 1,000 count. Sometimes Target has some really good bath sheets, like for a lower price.
I hate you so much.
I wouldn't recommend Walmart.
Ironically, Bed Bath & Beyond has terrible bath sheets. But if you go in there and you ask for one, the employees will all tell you these are specifically not supposed to be used in the bathtub.
I didn't.
Why would I buy them if I...
Really? That's such crap. You're kidding.
Leave me alone, Dominic. I hate you so much. Bath sheets.
I know.
You fucking goober.
I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, when any kind of leader, especially politician, makes any kind of policy that they in turn they get caught violating it or not doing it, I feel like that sparks a whole other debate of not just like, oh, maybe they don't believe the vaccine, like the protocols that they're putting into place, or it's the conversation of do they think that they're really above this because
I think
they are who they think they are, not who they actually are.
She actually, when she was given pushback on it, her excuse is one of the funniest things ever because she was at a Tony concert, and apparently they haven't been together in like 20 years. They're on like an R&B group, and she was at a Tony concert, and she had her mask off. And when she was given pushback, she was like, "Oh nah, see, I wasn't gonna just drink and then put my mask back on, take another sip, put my mask back on. Okay, it's Tony, okay? They haven't been together in 20 years. I'm not gonna, do all this extra stuff." So the
literal excuse that anybody else would say to her, and she'd be like,
"That's stupid.
You sound so dumb right now."
Yeah, I think my biggest issue with it is not that she violated the mask mandate, because we all have those moments where we take down our mask. You know what I mean? We all have those moments. You can take it as seriously as you want, but we all have those moments.
Yeah.
And, she even said that everybody around her was vaccinated. But I think what really my issue is that she got caught in something, and instead of just taking the L and just being like, you know what, that's a fair criticism.
An adult and just taking ownership of it.
Exactly.
She gave a really dumb, childish excuse.
Yeah. She was like, well, Tony hasn't been together in 20 years. Well, I didn't realize COVID really loves Tony.
Right.
And they're just like COVID's just like, hey, man, no need to wear your mask. I'm off for the night, okay? This is just me and my family just hanging out, all right? This isn't the COVID concert. This is the Tony. Why don't we all just have a good time? I'm not gonna kill anybody's grandma. All right.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we can all go
And
back
then
to me
COVID's
being
like,
a
you
deadly...
know what? You're right. We'll be outside the gate. But if you don't put your mask on when you leave the concert, fair game. I feel like this is a big politician thing. That people have gotten called out for not following COVID protocols.
No, it's happened a bunch of times, but that's my thing. Like, I feel like it's not even a politician thing. I think it's a human thing. But because politicians have so many eyes on them, and they're the ones making these policies, then people are just really itching to be like, "Well, you didn't do it here."
As soon as you slip up once,
exactly. You pull down your mask to take a sip of water. You hypocrite! Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. When Bill Clinton was impeached, it wasn't so much that it wasn't the infidelity, from what I understand. It was the fact that he lied about it.
Yeah.
He didn't own up to it. He wasn't like... He specifically said, I did not do anything with this woman.
Yeah. Back when we had standards for presidents.
Right. Well, there was another interesting thing that happened. For me personally as an actor, I.A.S.T.E, which is the union for productions, like, you know, the film crew,
the
catering.
Prostitutes for the film.
The what? Fuck you. Fuck you.
When the cameras are off, sweetie, tell your story.
Suffocation, no breathing, don't give a if I come out bleeding. This is my last resort.
So did you hear, do you know what I.A.S.T.E is?
That's what you scream when you get 3 12s, if I'm not mistaken. I.A.S.T.E!
I can't believe I've never really heard that joke before.
I.A.S.T.E was much better than Uno. I haven't played it since I was a child.
Uno ruins families.
That draw 4 is why my parents got divorced.
Really, mine was my dad cheating. So I.A.S.T.E, I don't know if you've heard about this either. I.A.S.T.E is the union for the production side of filmmaking. So like the camera operators, directors, producers, even down to the catering. Like that's all I.A.S.T.E. That's all behind the camera union in a way. Like SAG-AFTRA is the actors. That's the talent. That's the in front of the camera crew. Behind the camera crew, I.A.S.T.E are going on strike. And this is a really big thing because this is going against all the streaming services that everybody has gotten used to since the pandemic. This is how everybody like watches TV now. Like if you look at it, like the Emmys happened, I think it was the last week, right?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah. Streaming services won everything. Netflix, Hulu, even Apple TV for Ted Lasso. It won like 7 Emmys.
Wow. People watch Apple TV?
Here's the thing. Apple TV has way less subscribers than any other streaming service, and so they were asking, like in the beginning, for discounts from I.A.S.T.E to like pay lower rates for people because they don't have as many subscribers. That's real.
Wow.
To this point where streaming is no longer a volatile business model. Like it is clearly proven.
It's the standard for TV now.
It's literally the future of how we watch television. That's just how we do it now.
I would go as far as to say that streaming is legit just the standard now. Like, you know what I mean? Like a few years ago we could have said like future streaming was like the future, but like now I feel like that's the standard. Most shows people talk about is straight to streaming.
It's like do you like just
The
Netflix
Witcher,
in general.
The Witcher,
Netflix original series, Amazon Prime original series,
Disney, the
Disney
Marvel,
Plus.
the Marvel Disney Plus shows.
The whole thing now, like Disney had this whole kickback. It's a part of this, and I feel like it really did start with the Scarlett Johansson lawsuit. That was a while ago. You know, like at the end, she's still like a multimillionaire. She's still wealthy. She still has a prolific career behind her belt. However, she lost like $50 million because she was going to get paid based on the percentage of ticket sales, but they released Black Widow at the same time in theaters as on the streaming service, so people that had Disney Plus didn't bother going to a theater. They were like, well, I could just get it on my Disney Plus and just pay the Premier Access. Yeah. She didn't get a cut of that $30 that it takes for you to unlock it.
Yeah, and honestly, Disney is such a...
I don't care how wealthy you are. $50 million is a lot.
No,
I would fight for it.
It is. It is.
She's still well off and doesn't have to work another day in her life. Sure, but $50 million is lowballing it, and that's a big number.
It is a lot, right?
You know what I mean?
And I think that Disney probably could have just avoided this whole situation had they just maybe adjusted her contract or even just offered her money in lieu of like, hey,
the
maybe
big thing was that they didn't want to renegotiate.
That's what I'm saying.
They kept, yeah, you're right. They kept her contract the same way, and it just can't be done that way anymore.
Yeah, that's like streaming is like such a huge thing, but it's like you can't screw over the talent that's bringing in these different, these audiences. Like you can't have a Black Widow. You can't have a Black Widow movie without Black Widow.
Yeah,
like you can't do that without ScarJo and her ability to portray different races. You know what I mean? Like I heard in the Black Widow movie, she played an old black man. I heard she played a young Asian girl named Himimoto.
I thought you were going to say they can't
Hikigari.
make a Black Panther movie without Black Panther. For some reason, that's where my mind went. And I was like,
I mean, they kind
of are.
They are. They're absolutely.
It sucks, but like we're gonna have to deal with it. There's no way around that one.
See, that's the thing. There is a way around it because Disney actually isn't making the Black Panther movie without him. Disney is just that rich. They bought him back from God. God was like, hey. God was like, hey, Chadwick, it's your time. It's time to come to heaven with all your ancestors. And Disney was like, how much? God was like, what? Disney was like, how much do you want for him? God was like, first of all, you buying a person, that's not cool with me. And it was like, all right, how much?
I thought you Americans learned your lesson, but clearly no. These companies like Disney and Amazon, like Jeff Bezos, for goodness sakes, I mean, like, they can afford to pay regular price and up the ante. You know what I mean? You can afford to give the talent and the production companies way more than you're already doing. And giving, like, Netflix, you clearly can afford this.
To be
honest, I
honest,
know you can. I've been on Netflix sets. They spare no expense with some of these things. These are literally 12-plus hour days.
Yeah.
And they get weekends off. But what happens is, it's called a Fratter So they get out at a very late time on Friday and then have an early call time on Monday.
Jeez.
So you would get out at like 4 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night, which is technically now Saturday. So you're basically sleeping almost all of Saturday to recover from the 80-plus hour work week you just had, plus everything else you have to do, like laundry, cleaning your home, all the like the stupid little things that you have to do as an adult. You know what I mean? A film schedule is tight.
Yeah.
It's tight. It's hectic. There's a lot to do, especially when you're on the production side. Like, talent sometimes can come in and go when they're not needed on camera. Yeah. The cameraman has to be there the whole time. And I feel like this was a long time coming, and it's finally now being addressed. But they're also, all of those workers are canceling their subscriptions, and they're asking people to do the same. So cancel like Netflix, cancel Amazon Prime, cancel Disney Plus, all of them. They're going to do it. I don't think people outside of productions are going to do that to that extent.
Well, I feel for you guys, but I can't live without my Narcos. I'm kidding.
What If is still going. Now, if you did this after the season finale, I might be on board.
When Hawkeye starts, then you guys can go on strike. I will cancel my Disney Plus subscription, alright? At least give me until the end of What If, alright? Then I will cancel. I could just imagine you, like, complaining to somebody, like an upper executive, and you're like, look, man, we're leaving set at like 5 a.m. on Saturday, and we got a 9 a.m. call time. We've got to work for 24 hours straight. We're not getting paid enough. And then just like some executive, we'll fix it in post.
Production takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. Dude, editing these podcasts is a pain in the butt. Isn't it?
How would you know?
I wouldn't, because I know better.
I edit the podcast.
And it's a pain, isn't it?
Just another white man.
Imagine doing that for 12 plus hours a day.
Just another white man getting rich off of the backs of a black man's labor.
In my defense, I'm broke. So.
What you're really saying is, in my defense, he's not working hard enough.
That's not fair. I can't
That
say
is
anything.
My circumstance.
I can't say anything. Shit!
I don't think you need to. I feel like your people have had the floor long.
My people!
It's
so true.
Like
you said, streaming services really are the way of the future.
It's
the
standard.
future.
It's the standard.
It has become the standard.
The Gabby Petito case. We talked about it last week on our podcast. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But with that case, there hasn't been a lot of update around the actual case itself, but it has actually taken on a new light in the public eye. About the conversation around it and about Gabby in general.
It sparked a lot of other conversations that are important.
Yeah.
Like, everything with Gabby Petito, not putting it down at all. Like, this young woman should not have lost her life at such a young age. Yeah. They did uncover they found her body.
She shouldn't have lost her life at any age, I would argue.
If you're old... No, I'm kidding. I don't remember where she was found, but in the vicinity of where she went missing has been a place where a lot of... What is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. There's a lot of indigenous and POCs that have gone missing in that area, and nobody's really heard about it. But because Gabby Petito was a white woman, this has gotten a lot of coverage and a lot of news media and a lot of attention.
Well, as a straight white male myself, I feel like I'm a bit offended that you brought in the race card.
How are you?
Because I think you people always do that.
We do.
Word.
On a more serious note, that really is a problem.
It really
that
is.
Has not been
addressed.
I think, has been addressed. Like the whole when BLM and everything happened with George Floyd, like that wasn't the first case. That was just, I feel like
the most public.
The straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Where it uncovered a lot of things that should have been covered a long time ago, but that was just what happened to be the catalyst.
Yeah. It was the right place, right time.
Yeah.
Like COVID was, and like just starting to really scare the heck out of people, and people were starting to get broke. So it was just like all these different factors to where people were agitated enough to take action. Like it was the right time.
It was. But this whole Gabby Petito case has opened the doors on that as well.
On that conversation, yeah. Because, and the funny, it's so funny to me. And, I'm not really one to, I make jokes, but I'm not really one to be like, black, white, I don't really do that because I don't believe in racial essentialism. But here's something that is actually kind of funny.
The jokes are pretty funny, though.
But here's the thing, and it's funny, but it's also not funny. Black people have known about this for like years. Like the thing about the missing white girl has been such a joke with black people for years that I'm pretty sure like Scary Movie even had a joke about it.
Really?
About like a missing white girl.
Well, her best friend was Black American, right?
I don't know.
No, in Scary Movie.
Oh yeah, in Scary
Movie, the best friend was...
I thought you meant Gabby Petito. I was like, I don't know if she had a black friend. Like, we don't all know each other. Like at the weekly meeting, we were like, hey, this Gabby Petito thing is serious. Does anybody know? And this
someone in the one in the back goes,
she's like,
that's my best friend. Oh, I know her.
Kendra, let's get you on this case, all right?
You are our eyes and ears.
You're our eyes and ears on the street, all right?
This is a plant. Oh, God.
Like, dude.
No, in Scary Movie.
Yeah, in Scary Movie, that her best friend was a black person. Like, it was Scary Movie, or it was some comedy movie from years ago where somebody made a joke about, like, tons of black girls missing, but one little missing white girl, and everybody flips out. And don't get me wrong, the Gabby Petito thing is serious. Nobody should have to go through that. But it's actually just, like, black people have known for years, and indigenous people and people of color in general have known for years that if you're white and you go missing, then there is so much more attention. Like, for example, that's why R. Kelly actually preyed on primarily black and like Hispanic girls, because nobody cared if they were missing.
That would get swept under the rug way easier than anything else.
Exactly. If R. Kelly had preyed on little Karen Jenkins, his ass would have been in jail for 20 years by now.
Yeah, but how do we combat against that? How do we not make that real life?
So I think the way to combat things like, so it's called, the media has coined it white woman syndrome, missing white woman syndrome.
Okay.
And I think the way that we combat it is the way I think we combat a lot of our social issues, not just with actual policies and stuff that address the issue, like the root of the issues of why these people are going through the thing that they're going through, but through our own biases and prejudices, not only acknowledging why we think the way we do, but dismantling that and training ourselves not to think that way. Okay. You know what I mean? And informing other people on why thinking that way can be harmful, and that becomes a ripple effect that changes other people's minds.
Interesting.
You get me? Yeah. So essentially changing the social ideas behind it that created that situation in the first place.
I feel like it also stems from that you need to get media companies to actually cover it more often.
That's fair.
I feel like the media does have a lot of influence on that, and like what people actually hear, and like a lot of their news comes from a lot of these media sources. Yeah. So they have a lot of power of like what is known and what isn't. Because they sort through. I can't believe that these media companies don't see all of these cases and they just choose which ones. Oh, I think this would get the most viewers.
Well, to be fair, I think that's half and half. Because I think that news companies they do the same thing that any
it's a
media
conglomerate.
Exactly, they do what any media conglomerate will do.
Right.
The things that'll get them the most views and attention. Mm-hmm. So them reporting on some black girl going missing, that people aren't going to care about that because that's not what we've been conditioned to care about. But a missing white girl, oh my God, that's little Franny. We gotta stop. You know what I mean? The world has to find her.
Her whole life.
Exactly. She was an angel.
We gotta find her.
Like, you know what I mean?
Sunday school. She had straight A's in school.
Like, yeah, like
she was.
We gotta bring this
cheerleader.
We gotta bring her home. Little blonde hair, blue eyed white girl. We gotta bring her home. Like, but that's and you know it's kind of
because I'm more into brunettes. So like,
you didn't.
You had me up until blonde.
It's like missing white girl, yeah. But
what kind blonde? I don't give a shit.
I hate you. But yeah, like I feel like it's kind of a chicken or the egg situation. Like, sure, media companies should report on this more, but if they do, people wouldn't care because that's not what they've been conditioned to care about. Mm-hmm. They've been conditioned to, you know what I mean, like to fawn over these, you know what I mean, like the white girls missing. Oh, we got to protect these white women, and not in a derogatory sense, right? No. I mean, in a sense of we got like these white women need protecting. We need to figure this out. They're important. Like,
but that's why I think the media has such a powerful voice in that because they dictate what we are conditioned on.
That's fair. It's not...
So if they start covering a lot more of the other side of things, like if any POC or indigenous woman goes missing, even men go missing. Yeah. You know, it's not just like, oh, it's a man, he'll figure it out. Yeah. Like, they're still, you know, like, I don't care how manly you are. If you have an AK-47 to your head or whatever, you know, like, that's a thing. You're still a human being.
If people cared more about it, then the news reported on it more. If the news reported on it more,
then people would care about it more. And it's this horrible vicious cycle.
It's a terrible symbiotic relationship.
But that's what it sounds like.
That's what it is. So something else that happened, a new study came out about how climate change is actually affecting the sea turtles. And I did not
The sea turtles again?
Yeah. Every
time. Always about the fucking turtles.
God, no one ever talks about the poor urchins. Like, no one ever cares about the
urchins, the blobfish.
No one ever tries.
Everyone just assumes tuna are okay.
It has to either be cute or cool. Like, everyone wants to talk about sharks and dolphins and turtles. No one ever wants to hear about poor sunfish. No one ever wants to know how climate change is affecting the sunfish. I'm gonna pull up a picture and be like, for reference, this is what a sunfish
I was gonna say, like, I would feel like most people actually are like, yeah, the sunfish. I don't know what that is.
Never heard of it. Who, like the fucking Star-Lord. Who?
Who? Sunfish, man. Come on.
Apparently, sea turtle eggs are affected by the heat of beaches, and it's in a way that we didn't expect. The heat of the beach actually determines the sex of the sea turtles. So when it's way hotter now, so apparently because
it's hotter now, are they more I don't want to say turning into. Are they more, is it more female?
Wow, that was actually a great guess. Well, you know.
I had a 50-50
You had a 50-50 chance of getting it right.
I just happened to say the right thing, apparently.
No, apparently.
So it's more female sea turtles than male sea turtles because of global warming and the heat of the beach.
Yeah, now there's only much less male turtles now, which might sound great for a male turtle now, but... because of that...
if I want to produce a boy, I need to turn the AC really far down.
I would say don't even chance it. Just like ice bucket challenge your wife whenever you see her. Like just fucking dump that shit on her. And if you want a girl...
It also depends on who you nominate.
If you want a girl, make sure you just pop your wife on the stove for 300, preheat the oven to 350 degrees.
Yeah, you
just
preheat that oven.
Pop your wife
Yeah,
in
you
there.
preheat that oven, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Just pop your wife.
Depends on what she likes to eat for dinner. Like she likes candles.
If you want a girl child, just pop your wife in the microwave for 15 to 30 seconds, and then turn her over, and then you.
That's easy. That's so easy. The hardest part of that is finding a big enough microwave. I didn't realize having a girl or boy was so simple. I mean, people are like coming up with weird shit like, oh, you have to like do a doggy style, or oh, you have to do it when it's like several hours after her ovulation period, or blah blah blah.
Some people
it's as simple as just pop that shit in the microwave.
Some people want to use like advanced technology to like gene splice and make sure that they have no. Just gotta like leave your wife out on the sun for like 10 to 15 minutes each day. Make sure she doesn't put on any like suntan lotion.
Yeah.
Turn her over.
You want a boy? Wait till winter.
Oh my God! You
throw her in the snow.
Look, if you have a daughter and you wanted a boy, next time you try, just throw your wife on the grill for like 15 minutes. Make sure you butter her nice,
Back
and you
forth.
you turn her over to make sure you got
nobody
those.
likes an uneven wife.
Maybe she got grill marks on the other side.
God.
But on a serious note, the sea turtles are coming out. More of them are coming out female because of higher temperatures. And something that is probably an unforeseen consequence of this is the turtle gene pool will probably become a lot less diverse, because if more and more sea turtles start becoming more females and we have fewer and fewer males, and the males have to produce more and more offspring, meaning that more and more of the population will become will have more of the same fathers. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
we're gonna have a sea turtle incest.
Yeah, an incestation.
Incestation.
We got there. It's a giant incest, baby.
It was a rough journey, but we got there. We got to the end of Mountain Dew. At the end of that,
we got there.
But how does this affect? Do you, if I can ask, like, how does that affect us?
Okay,
as humans.
So actually, climate change, and this was actually like a study that came out a while ago. Climate change is actually making people. It's actually affecting males and our body chemistry to where now more and more men are going to be born infertile. Meaning that if we do not address the plastics in the oceans and the climate change, if we don't address that, and I mean really address that, most men will be infertile by the year 2050, which is something that I read months ago. So some of the details I could be a bit foggy on. But
you know what though, the thing when you say 2050, I feel like people will be like, oh, that's far off. That's not.
It's really not
that far off.
It's really not.
We're in 2021 now.
Jesus.
2050, 30 years.
Yeah. We'll still be doing this podcast with 2 subscribers.
And we appreciate both of you.
Oh no, those are gonna by that point we're just gonna have a romantic relationship with them. That's how much we appreciate. But and a funny
buying them flowers.
Right, we send them their yearly flowers for staying subscribed. But it's actually another thing that climate change is affecting in people. Apparently, people have less babies. If a day is hot, 9 months later, there's going to be less kids born on that day because it's so hot.
Really?
Yeah, and that's something that actually another study that came out this week.
Huh.
Yeah, so because it was so hot this summer, during those hot days in the summer, people were having less babies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, the population control has always been a hot button issue for some reason.
And it's weird.
Population in general, think about immigration in general has become such a topic.
Dom.
Population in general.
Not to bring up that, but you're a white man on the internet. I don't know you mentioned him.
No, but population really has been not a problem, but a controversial topic for so long.
And it's funny
in that regard. You know what I mean?
But the funny thing about so when it comes to immigration specifically, one of the funniest things about why immigration is such a hot button issue is it's actually more of a made up issue. because when it comes to population and our population control, humans have actually started creating less and less babies.
Yeah.
Depending on the country, people in America and in Japan and a lot of other countries, people have actually started having less kids. And a lot of that is the direct result of us not having our generations not being able to economically prosper.
I was gonna say, I feel like money has to be a part of that equation.
It definitely is, and even if we were still having even if birth rates weren't on the decline, we actually still wouldn't need to really talk about population control because we have more than enough resources for everybody on the planet. Globally, we have more than enough resources. Mm-hmm. However, it's just that we aren't distributing those resources in the
most effective way possible.
Exactly, because world hunger is not an issue of production; it's an issue of distribution.
That's the most Miss America answer of I want to cure global hunger.
Yes, Charles, Miss America 2022.
I'd vote for you.
Thank you. I would be very surprised if I got more than one vote. I think they would.
I would be happy with 3.
I would be happy with 3 votes. I would be surprised that they wouldn't kick me out for trying to violate the sanctity of the Miss America pageant.
Yeah, right. You'd be so controversial, but that's why everybody would remember you.
Oh, dude, I would at least I would get so much support from the West Coast. The West Coast would get behind me full force.
All of California would secede if you didn't win Miss America.
You have, dog. I think even some parts of the Midwest would even get behind me. They wouldn't tell anybody that they voted for me, but because no one, none of you nor the people watching have seen me in a dress, and I have the legs for it. I absolutely have the legs for it.
I didn't know that about you. All right. I will also say, you know what? And to that regard, I had to take a makeup class studying theater in college. I had to take a stage makeup class, and I was told by the professor that had worked with on Broadway before, and she was like, "You'd make a very pretty woman. You're a very pretty guy."
That's fair.
She's like, "But here's what she stuck the knife in." She goes, "I wouldn't say handsome." She said, "But you're very pretty."
So, and then the last story that we're going to talk about today, I was going to say the ivermectin. The Taliban has started implementing. About this. Dude, they've started implementing a lot of really messed up policies that they said they weren't going to implement in Afghanistan.
This is after they took over, right? When we pulled.
I would assume so.
Our troops out?
Because it happened this week.
Okay. No, but is this stuff... I was wondering if this is stuff that they had thought about previously before taking power.
So, I would argue that the Taliban always wanted to implement these things because this was how Afghanistan was pre-invasion.
Okay.
But...
that makes sense.
They said that they were reformed, that they had, changed... But they ended up...
Classic X move. I swear I've changed. I'm a better man now. I've done a lot of thinking.
And I feel like you should be able to drive cars. I've done a lot of thinking, and you know what? You're right. You should be able to go to school. 2 months into the relationship, yeah. I'm going to need you to drop out.
Still cover your head and be how you were, when I was the way I was. But I'm a better person now.
Dude,
that's all I'm saying. So if you have a problem with me now, it's probably your fault.
Dude,
is really what I'm,
they have. At. You know what? I actually wrote a joke about what the Taliban is doing in Afghanistan.
I want to hear it. So your joke's pretty good, so I want to hear it.
Dom, we're supposed to be straight. Don't make me fall in love.
I am straight. I am straight. I know it's funny.
So. Thank you. And thanks. You the little tear came to my eye. The Taliban has recently gone back on a lot of its promises to women. Originally, they said they were going to allow women to do things like work or go to school, but now they're saying, no, women cannot do that. They're really cracking down on women and policing their bodies. When asked about his opinion on these new developments, the governor of Texas said, "All praise Allah."
Oh,
I I could barely hold that joke.
I know.
I legit.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Really proud of you.
I legit.
It was a good joke. It was a great joke, even. But I'm gonna need you to stop.
I'm sorry. I thought that was so funny. Hey, so all these women are like losing rights. They're not being able to like, treat themselves as actual
This has
people.
been a shitty 3 weeks for women. I mean, like, it's been rough. I'm sorry. They don't speak for all of us, just so you know. We're nice guys, okay?
Look, man, the Taliban does not speak for... Look, at our next guy meeting, we're going to bring this up to the Taliban, all right? We're going to let them know that is not okay. Chicks deserve to... We're going to use that word. Chicks deserve the same rights as anyone, all right?
Yeah.
Just less pay. You're supposed to disagree. You're like, wait, what?
What happened to yes and? I got yelled at last time for not going with you. And now you're... Oh my god, I can't win.
Women, that's what women said. Oh my god,
These
I
past
cannot
3
win.
weeks. Yeah, I mean, agreed. It's been rough. I'm sorry. It's like looking at like a new dental plan. You're like, I have dental, but then you look at the specifics of the plan and you're like, this sucks.
This is garbage.
My deductible is higher than just the last insurance I had.
And I can only go to the dentist on every other Tuesday of months that only begin with the letter J.
Yeah.
Like
I have to keep my head covered.
Like women,
I have to Uber there because I can't drive.
Yo, women really need to talk to their software developer because their new iOS update sucks.
It's awful. It needs to be talked about, and I like that. I feel now that people are more comfortable actually coming forward and talking about stuff like this. Yeah. I think that we're in this day and age where I think it's starting to move in the right direction. Is it where it needs to be? Absolutely not. Do I think it's going where it needs to? Yes.
I think I agree.
Maybe not as fast as we want, but it's definitely starting to get the momentum that it needs to.
I think I would agree for specifically more what's considered more Western cultures, and not in a Western culture superior to any other culture kind of way.
Yeah.
However, but in a lot of other cultures, specifically like Muslim cultures, women are treated as second-class citizens. Well, I think, and I don't really believe in American exceptionalism. I don't believe that we're inherently any better than like the rest of the world. But when it comes to ideals being spread around, specifically because we do have such a market share of movies and popular TV and influencers, like because we do have so much of that share, once it becomes such a normal ideal.
It may not be exceptional, but it's still influential.
Yes. Influential, not exceptional, influential. Yeah. Yes.
Americans tend to somehow, when we think of an idea, other people, whether if they could do it better, great.
God, why couldn't we think of socialism? God, okay, how about this? Why couldn't we think of equal rights for everybody and a better pay?
That's fair.
Socialism, baby.
Then I think that's a good place.
Yeah,
we talked about good stuff for like what's happened this week. You got our opinions. Again, leave anything in the comments about what you think, what we want us to talk about, anything that you want us to share about. Things that you think during whatever that happened that week that we absolutely need to cover because it's a big deal. There's other things that we're going to be talking about too, like re-updating on like the I.A.S.T.E strike and anything else that comes out of the Gabby Petito case. Anything else around the world too. Like we're open to that. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe, like the video. We appreciate you guys. And just because we are open with our thoughts doesn't mean that we are,
gay? Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing.
Like, we don't even take that as an insult. We're just saying that you can be who you want to be without that meaning anything on your sexual orientation.
We're breaking down barriers here.
We're trying to deconstruct that, yeah.
We could be open
and,
like who we like. You know, whether it be girls and Charles. We're very open here, man. We're very open here. I love it.
Yeah, so make sure you guys subscribe, or I'm gonna have to put Dominic down if we don't get at least 10,000
That's right.
by the end of Halloween. If we don't get at least 10,000 subscribers, I'm gonna have to put him down. And you know,
I like life, so please subscribe.
he means a lot to our family. You know, he's been with us for a while, so we don't want to have to put him down.
Several years. They got me from a shelter when I was coming in off the streets. And it was a rough life until this kind family took me in and adopted me for the low rate of $99 because there happened to be a special that day. And Labor Day weekend. And I was good. I had all my shots.
You had the, you know what? You get the last laugh of the video. That was fucking hilarious. That was great.
Love it. All right, guys.
So we'll catch you guys.
We love you.
Next
We
time.
appreciate you. See ya.